Welcome to the Tuesday show, which is really the Wednesday show because this show doesn't come out usually till Wednesday, but I film them on Tuesdays. I promise you that I do, but sometimes they come out a little late. But today we have Sonic the Hedgehog making $1 billion, Fast and the Furious has some drama for your mama, and also everything announced gaming related at CES. I never thought that Sonic the Hedgehog would be at the point that it is right now, considering the fact that Sonic the Hedgehog is known for having some of the weirdest fan bases on the planet, but also one of the most loyal fan bases. Sonic the Hedgehog fans love Sonic the Hedgehog, so much so Sonic the Hedgehog film franchise has made $1 billion at the box office. Paramount Pictures has held the success of Sonic movie franchise after Sonic the Hedgehog 3 helped it pass $1 billion at the global box office. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which adds Keanu Reeves as Shadow to the cast, recently surpassed $100 million at the international box office and has earned over $187 million domestically for a cumulative worldwide gross to date of over $336 million. Sonic 3 grossed an estimated of $51.2 million during its second weekend in 61 markets, with 3 markets still to go, including China on January 10th. The first Sonic the Hedgehog launched in February 2020, starring Jim Carrey as Robotnik. The sequel followed in April 2020, with both movies earning a combined $725 million globally, with an additional $181 million in consumer spending from home entertainment rentals and purchases. Spin-off series Knuckles hit Paramount Plus last April and became the #1 kids and family series ever in terms of hour on the streamer. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 launched in December. Paramount said the film is performing better than Sonic 2 on a like-for-like basis. It came to no surprise that Paramount announced the development is underway for a 4th installment of Sonic the Hedgehog film series, given Sonic the Hedgehog 3's ending teases yet another Sonic character for that film. So Sonic the Hedgehog, the film has had a bumpy start. Unfortunately, they kind of tried to make Sonic look like a stuffed animal and not like the Japanese cool Sonic the Hedgehog that we know, because everything cool about Sonic the Hedgehog screams anime Japanese character that is kind of cool, has that very Japanese anime quality to them, and they kind of tried to take that out, and fans complained, and it took them a lot of money to go back and redo the animations for Sonic the Hedgehog, but they did it. They did do it, and they came back stronger, and the fans, like I said, Sonic the Hedgehog fans are some of not only the weirdest, we're not gonna forget that part about you guys, Sonic the Hedgehog fans. You guys are weird. The internet knows this. We can't hide from this, but you guys are also extremely loyal. I'm so glad to see a video game movie do this well. It's gonna this moment that we're in films, that we get comic books, we get video games, we get all of this geeky stuff that we've ever wanted as a geek, and I'm really happy to see them succeed. I never thought that we would get to the point where they were using video games as kind of scams in order to do the whole insurance bust. I never thought that we get past that. Now people are starting to take these movies seriously, these properties seriously, to the point where they're making good money, and I'm so glad that this movie is doing really well. You know, I love movies and I like geekiness, but I also like the drama that kind of comes along some geeky stuff. For example, Fast and the Furious drama. I love Fast and the Furious drama because Vin Diesel is the guy who somehow became the kind of owner of Fast and the Furious, and the guy who gains a lot from Fast and the Furious. He's kind of seen as the main character of the entire series. And The Rock, when he came into the movie, is 2 big buff alpha males who want to run shit. And as we saw with Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, when it came to Superman and Superman versus Black Adam, a lot of people or Black Adam the movie, and what he wanted to make with Black Adam versus Superman, he tried to take over the entire DC universe. He tried to be executive, and so they kind of kicked him to the curb because of that. Well, he's had some issues in the past when it comes to on-set drama, and he's had issues with Vin Diesel. And I am not gonna lie to you when I sit here and say that I live for this drama. It's so good. The drama's so goddamn good. Fast and the Furious fans enjoys Vin Diesel's "Hey Dwayne" comment at The Rock during the Golden Globes. Fast and the Furious star Vin Diesel poked fun at co-star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson while presenting an award at the 2025 Golden Globes last night. Comic Book spotted myriad of fans enjoying the comment made at Johnson's expense, seemingly as a continuation of or reference to the pair's infamous feud while filming the 5th through 7th Fast and the Furious films. Diesel's comment wasn't particularly malicious. However, ahead of presenting the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Award, Diesel spotted Johnson in the crowd of celebrities and uttered a subtle "Hey Dwayne" into the mic. A smattering of laughter arose in the crowd, and camera cut to Johnson, who smiled like I don't know how to pronounce this word, but it's worldly. In other words, it was like an awkward like you know what I mean, almost like I will whoop your ass if it weren't for the fact that like I probably get banned from here. I would Will Smith your ass if it weren't for the fact that I would probably get banned and look bad and probably lose a lot of money like Will Smith did. Despite starring alongside each other in Fast and the Furious 5, 6, and Fast and the Furious 7, with Diesel playing Dominique Toretto and Johnson playing Luke Hobbs, a feud arose between the two and was made public when Johnson called Diesel a chicken shit and a candy ass. Diesel told Men's Health this was because of the tough love he gave Johnson to assist in getting that performance where it needed to be. Diesel will seemingly return in the upcoming Fast X Part 2, a sequel to the 10th mainline film due for release in 2026. After the post-credit tease, Johnson posted on X/Twitter in 2023 that he and Diesel put all the past behind us and will lead with brotherhood and resolve. They always take care of the franchise, characters, and fans that we love, he said. Like, if there's one thing that you don't do to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is you tell him how to act and what you want out of him, because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson kind of does whatever the hell he wants, which is play Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in almost every single movie. Like, and you know what? It works for him. He's made a lot of money, but like, that's not what he wanted for this movie. That's not what Diesel. Like I said, Diesel's pretty much in charge of the Fast and the Furious franchise, and he was just trying to get more out of The Rock. And like I said, when you have two big buff alpha male dudes trying to and you know what, I don't even like the term alpha male, but two leaders that were in the same place at the same time, it's almost like too many chefs in the kitchen, but they made it work. And I'm glad that they did, because I love those movies. I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of people think that Fast and the Furious is like oh my god, it's so lowbrow cinema. It's fun, have fun. Fast and the Furious movies are fun. Just go have fun. It's a fun movie. It doesn't make any sense. Somehow these guys have super strengths and are not mutants from the Marvel universe and do all these things that defy physics, because apparently they're gods, but they're good movies. Go have fun. I'm glad that The Rock's gonna come out in the new one. When I saw him in the Fast and the Furious, when the movies that he came out, which was Fast and the Furious 5, 6, and 7, they were just fun movies. The fight scenes are great. They're fun. Spot family. They throw barbecue at the very end, and it's cool. I don't know. I don't know. They save the day, like G.I. Joe and shit. It's true that AMD is kind of the king when it comes to mid-range hardware. They don't really specifically do high-end hardware. They do it, but they really don't do it as well as other people do. But where they concentrate to do better is in mid-range and trying to find the people that want mid-range computers that cost around $1,000, because or $1,200, because spending $1,800 on the computer sometimes isn't kind of you know what I mean, affordable to some people. It's pushing it at $1,200, but AMD tries to keep their GPUs kind of relatively cheap when it comes to 1440p gaming. With Radeon RX 970 XT, AMD is aiming for the mid-range. After months of waiting for graphics cards, the AMD Radeon 9070 XT has finally been announced and will be powering gaming PCs. Within the next few months, AMD has announced two graphics cards to spearhead its new generation: the AMD RX 970 XT and the RX 970. AMD is using this generation of GPUs to rebrand a little bit, signaling that these GPUs are the same generation as the AMD 9000 3XD7. Is also to draw closer comparisons with NVIDIA, with the RX 970 intended to compete with similarly branded mid-range NVIDIA cards like the RTX 470. The RTX 70 XT is powered by the Zen 4 architecture with all new AI accelerators that enable AI upscaling in the AMD graphics card for its first time through FSR 4 or Fidelity FX super resolution. However, because AMD hasn't revealed the specs of these cards, I don't know how much improvement RDNA 4 will offer over AMD's GPUs like the Radeon RX 790 XT. AMD hasn't revealed an exact release date for the RX 970 and the RX 970 XT, but has teased that it's coming sometime in quarter 2025. Likewise, Team Red has revealed the price through with its going up against on NVIDIA XX70 GPU. I'd expect these graphics cards to cost anywhere from $499 to $599 whenever they come out. So yeah, that would be a really good price if it's between $499 and $599. I would honestly prefer $499, but we're not gonna get that. But yeah, like these guys are, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna be good GPUs. They're not gonna be as good as NVIDIA's top of the line stuff. And if you're buying these GPUs, honestly, you shouldn't be getting it for that reason. If you want 1440p and upscaling FSR, like to make your stuff look better in 4K, this is what this is for. Like this is what these GPUs are for, and they're more than likely gonna come at a bargain compared to NVIDIA cards. But like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to what these do. Personally, I probably would never get a Radeon card or an AMD Radeon card. I would get their CPUs, but when it comes to their GPUs, I mostly stick to NVIDIA because I like their, as a content creator, they offer a lot of good stuff. Along with new graphics card, AMD has announced FSR 4, just like PSSR or PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution that Sony worked on with AMD to create for the PS5 Pro. This new upscaling method will be based on a machine learning algorithm. However, unlike the PSSR, which runs its algorithm directly on shader cores, FSR will be utilizing specialized AI accelerators in RDNA 4, similar to how DLSS is handled on NVIDIA's graphics cards. This should substantially improve on both image quality and performance, thanks to Team Red finally utilizing the AI accelerators baked into each compute unit. AMD has also said that this is completely rebuilt its AI accelerators for this generation of cards, which explains why it waited so long to implement an AI upscaler that can compete with the likes of CES and DLSS. More importantly, this new upscaler finally marks a point where every GPU manufacturer has an AI upscaling solution. As long as developers continue to add all three upscalers to their games, which become more common, this generation of graphics cards might mark an end to NVIDIA's complete dominance of any game with ray tracing enabled. However, with AMD announcing RX 970 and drawing comparisons to the GeForce RTX 470, Team Red doesn't seem to be punching for the top end of GPUs. NVIDIA hasn't showed its next generation hand yet, but assuming the GeForce RTX 590 or whatever it's called is significantly faster, AMD could be leaving the super high-end market for NVIDIA, which approach that worked out well for Team Red in the RX 580 days. With the Intel Arc B580 aiming for the budget market and these new AMDs aiming towards the mid-range users, it's refreshing to see two GPU makers compete in a range that people can actually afford, rather than launching extremely powerful and expensive cards into the stratosphere for the few that can comfortably drop a couple of grand on a new GPU. Intel's new card ended up being a nice surprise when I reviewed it back in December 2024. So like this is gonna be the budget wars. These guys are going to be the guys who are like dominating like the mid-range market, because NVIDIA, honestly, they're not even interested in making GPUs anymore, if I'm being honest with you. Like they're just really not. They want to work on their AI business and they really don't care if they cater to the mid-range. They are cool with doing mid-range, but they're not gonna put all their effort into it. They're more high-end and selling GPUs to like manufacturers for their AI companies and like having good AI cores and stuff like that. Something that I'm willing to pay a little bit extra for when it comes to NVIDIA, because they're just really good. NVIDIA is really good when it comes to like editing and when it comes to like having, like for example, I have a whole loud ass fan in the background, but you can't hear it because of the fact that I have noise cancellation, which is built into the GPU with the AI cores. Yeah, so like it's just, they offer a lot of value when it comes to their GPUs. But I'm so glad that if maybe I want a laptop with AMD graphics and to save a little money, I'll be able to do that. What I will get all the time when it comes to AMD is their CPUs. I will not hesitate. Their CPUs are the best on the market, and they offer such a killer deal when it comes to dollar to performance kind of like deals. Like they're really good. Like AMD is really good when it comes to their CPUs. The AMD Ryzen 9950 XD debuts at CES. No compromises. AMD has revealed the Ryzen 9950 XD and Ryzen 99000 XD at CES 2025. Two top-end gaming processors featuring Team Red's 3DV quiche technology. These processors follow the AMD Ryzen 98000 XD 3D that launched back in November 2024, but with more cores, more quiche, and a higher clock rate. The AMD 9950 X3D is a 16-core, 32-thread monster of a processor with 144 megabytes of quiche, which should make it one hell of a gaming chip. AMD claims that these new processors boost up to 64% than the Intel Core Ultra 9 285K and up to 54% faster and last generation AMD Ryzen 7950 X3D. This is likely due to the 3D V-Cache tech, which allows AMD to print its quiche in a layer below the actual CPU cores, lowering latency dramatically and giving room for more quiche than would otherwise be possible. I'll have to wait. The AMD 9950 XD and the Ryzen 9 99000 X3D will be available sometime in the next few months, though AMD has not shared pricing information quite yet. Make no mistake that the portable wars are coming, and whether we like it or not, almost every company is going to have some kind of portable on the market by the next 4 years. I do think that PlayStation is going to have a portable device that is native with a PS5 and can play PS16s in 1080p quality. I also do think that Xbox is probably going to go with that option as well, given the Game Pass is right there and they can just put Game Pass on a portable device and kind of dominate if they really want to. And so like it's no surprise that the people that are leading the kind of like the portable war who are giving these companies their arms in this war is AMD. And AMD did show off the next generation of handheld gaming PCs at CES 2025. At CES 2025, AMD has unveiled the chipset behind the next generation of handheld gaming PC and the AMD Zen 2 Extreme. The AMD Zen 2 Extreme, along with a lower spec cousin, the Z2 and the Z2 Go, are powered by Zen 5 CPU cores, while the Zen 2 Extreme is using a RDNA 3.5 base GPU. The Z2 and the Z2 Go are still using RDNA 3 and RDNA 2 respectively. This creates an entire family of APU's advanced processing units for handheld gaming PCs that should hopefully cause the price of handhelds to go down a bit. With the Z2 Extreme, AMD is hoping to dramatically improve battery life while also delivering console-like gaming performance to devices like the Lenovo Go Legion. By and large, the biggest limiting factor of these handhelds, especially at the high end, is how quickly their batteries drain when playing demanding games away from the wall outlet. Mobile PC gaming is more than just handheld gaming PCs, and AMD has also launched its new line of Zen 5 based processors for gaming laptops, what is called the Fire Range and the HX3D. These processors, just like the chips announced by Intel, will be powering the best gaming laptops of the next year or so. Unlike Intel, however, AMD is bringing the successful 3D V-Cache design behind the Ryzen 7 98000 X3D to gaming laptops. This technology allows AMD to stack much more quiche on processors by actually it printing above the actual CPU cores. This both improves gaming performance and lowers temperatures, which boosts gaming's performance even further. So like I said, AMD is only going to keep making stronger and stronger APUs, and I wouldn't doubt right now that PlayStation and Xbox are going to AMD to have the most powerful console on the market. Let's not forget the Switch 2 is going to be announced within the next 3 months, or in the next 3 months it's going to be announced, and it's said to probably be as strong as the PlayStation 5 Pro, and a lot of people were getting upset that that's the case. But if you go back to the PlayStation 5 Pro, like those games still look good today. Like it's not like they're gonna look like Polygon or anything like that. Like they're gonna look good. So yeah, and that's no easy feat to do, to have the PlayStation 5 Pro in your hand. If it's true that Nintendo is doing that, is insane. That is an insane feat, and I can't wait to see what more of these companies are going to do with handhelds, because I'm really looking forward to what the PlayStation and the Xbox is going to do if they go that route. Xbox, I think, is a 90% chance that they do it. PlayStation is more 70 to 80% chance that they do it. The question is how they're going to do it. So we live in an age where video game adaptations are becoming more common, but not only more common, but good, like I mentioned a little while ago. And it's no surprise that Sony announced that Helldivers 2 film is production, along with Horizon Zero Dawn is also in production. Sony's smash hit PlayStation Studio video game Helldivers 2 is being adapted into a film. Announced during Sony's CES 2025 press conference, the Helldivers 2 movie is a collaboration between Sony Production and Sony Pictures. No other details were offered. Speaking on stage at CES, head of the PlayStation production said, looking ahead as to what might come next, I'm excited to announce we are working with Sony Pictures on developing a film adaptation of our amazingly popular PlayStation game, Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 from developer Arrowhead is, of course, heavily inspired by cult classic sci-fi movie Starship Troopers. It sees soldiers of the future struggling to defend a fascist super Earth regime against alien robots called the Automaton and the bugs called the Terminans, all while preaching managed democracy. Helldivers 2 is the fastest selling PlayStation Studio game of all time, with an incredible 12 million copies sold in just 12 weeks. It's currently enjoying a resurgence after the release of the long-awaited Illuminate update, which adds a third faction for players to fight against. Horizon Zero Dawn film confirmed. Collaboration between PlayStation Studios and Columbia Pictures was announced during Sony CES 2025. Columbia Pictures produced a successful 2022 Uncharted movie starring Tom Holland, Nathan Drake, and Mark Wahlberg as Victor Sullivan. Horizon Zero Dawn is Guerrilla Games' hugely popular post-apocalyptic adventure starring machine hunter Aloy. No time frame for the film's release was announced. Speaking on stage at CES, head of PlayStation Productions said Columbia Pictures and PlayStation Productions are in the early stage of developing a film adaptation of the award-winning Horizon Zero Dawn. Just imagine Aloy's beloved origin story set in a vibrant, far future world filled with giant machines, brought to you for its first time on big screen. A lot of people are asking why these films, why these are gonna be like films, like instead of shows. And the reason being is because these require high-end like CGI in order to do this. So like, I understand where they're coming from. Imagine 12 episodes that you have to pay. That would probably cost you, with these two alone, at least like $600 million combined. So it doesn't surprise me that they're doing films. I wish that Helldivers was going to be a show. Ghost of Tsushima is looking to be also being made by the John Wick director. So I'm looking forward to all these intellectual properties. I hope that they get the same treatment that video games have been getting so far, and I cannot wait to see what they do. So last but certainly not least, NVIDIA announced a whole slew of new GPUs, but one of them that's getting everybody's attention is one in particular. NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5090 is finally here at CES 2025. After months of waiting, NVIDIA has finally announced its new line of graphics cards, led by NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 590 at CES 2025. And while there is still a couple of graphics cards at the Las Vegas Tech Show, the rest of the lineup should filter out over the next few months. The star of the show is obviously the NVIDIA RTX 590, succeeding the massively powerful RTX 490. And even if you can't fork over cash for the RTX 590, you can grab the RTX 570, which allegedly provides the RTX 490 performance for $540. The NVIDIA GeForce 590 will come out January 30th for $9. The RTX 590 will be accompanied by the RTX 580 for $99, the RTX 570 Ti for $749, and the RTX 570 for $549. Which, by the way, that RTX 5070 Ti has more RAM, like more VRAM at $749. I think that's really good. I'm pretty sure they're gonna release super versions of this, and it'll probably be like at least $800 more. But like I said, NVIDIA really isn't interesting in the mid audience when it comes to their GPUs, because the 5070 Ti is probably the best way to go because of that 16 gigabytes of VRAM. I'm really looking forward to what they can do with these GPUs. It makes me excited for the consoles as well, what's going to come out in the next 4 years with the PS6 and whatever Xbox does next. So I'm really looking forward to these. Like, I think NVIDIA does so good when it comes to these high-end GPUs, because like they're dominating. They really don't care if they're not dominating the mid-range. It will bite them in the ass once the bubble of AI busts, which we're seeing recently, is going to happen. It's happening. It's currently happening, and it's going to happen. Everything eventually has a bust to it, and this is going to happen very soon. They're not regretting it right now, but they will regret it long into the future when they realize that the mid-range is also people that are willing to spend money, and they don't need the mid-range money right now. What they are, like I said a little while ago, what they're doing is they're making high-end like AI GPUs and also high-end consumer GPUs for us to play in 4K or like close to 4K, and the DLSS for like to be able to make those GPUs last longer. And yeah, like you can't really make more money than what you put out there with the GPUs. Like you put a GPU out there, there's no subscription that you're gonna get off of it or be able to justify for that device. They make more money with their subscription stuff when it comes to like making GPUs for other people, like maintaining those GPUs and having like the army and all these other like manufacturers, car companies, get their GPUs in order to run their cars and run their different devices or run their AI facilities. So make a lot more money with that than they do selling to us. And until that bubble busts, like they're not gonna give a damn about people like me and you. So like this is exciting, and like don't get me wrong, but at the same time it's a little depressing to see that that NVIDIA kind of gave up when it came to just kind of catering to us like it did back in the late 2000s or even 2014. Like it's just hasn't been like that anymore. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think that these cards are exciting? What do you think about the future when it comes to these GPUs? What do you think about all the announcements at CES? Let me know what you think in the comment section. By the way, all these stories are from IGN if you want to check them out. Anyway.